work from home, it's really make you more frustrated because whole
Mm,
day you'll be getting messages from so many different people asking you different stuff and
mm,
meetings, and at the same time you also need to manage your work. But
yeah.
when things are normal, right, you go when you go to office, so they're actually no, it's not exactly the same scenario because you have
Mhm,
people to talk with, you go out with them, coffee or
mhm.
tea.
Yeah, that's really true. And I mean, I don't know if it's been the same for you, but for me, I've definitely noticed with the working from home situation, it feels like people maybe don't respect your time as much as in a normal setting. Like you'll receive emails past the working hours, past the end of the workday. People will send you things all the time, and yeah, it feels like your time is not being maybe as respected as if you were in the office. So I also like reading. I read a lot of fictional books instead of maybe nonfiction. I like to kind of separate my brain a little bit from what's happening around me. But I do enjoy reading books about history as well, and maybe some kinds of self-help books. Sometimes, like more like self-development books.
Hmm.
Where yeah, they give you practical tips, not like those self-help books that just tell you the same things that you know over and
Yeah,
over again, because
exactly.
there's so many of
Yeah, even
those.
initially when I started reading, I also used to have these self-help books, for example. They all actually, whatever book I read, they actually tell us the same thing about
Mm-hmm.
how you, with the nature, how you can control things, just because how you think positive
Yes.
and all those things.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And so many of them say the exact same thing, and they don't really give you any actionable tips that you can
Yes,
actually
yes.
take. I do have one also kind of about personal finance, which I'm slowly getting through because, it's kind of important and it's specific to South Africa. So it does help
Oh,
because, most of the finance books are catered to an American audience most of the time. So
true,
we
true,
don't
yes.
have all of the same things. So it's really nice to finally have like one South African book that can actually help.
Yeah, whatever book actually I also read, they are always written in a way that they are always focused on U.S. markets and
Yeah.
the stocks from U.S. stories of
Mhm.
success on companies, startups, all from U.S.
Mhm.
I invest mostly on Indian market because
Ah.
it's like country where there's a lot of scope, right? Because it's not
Mhm.
completely developed, so you see a lot of
Mhm.
potential there,
Of
but we don't
course,
have
it's true.
books to actually read about their markets.
Yeah, it's frustrating because you kind of have to like you're kind of in the dark and you have to kind of blindly work your way through things and hope that you're making the correct decisions. So, yeah, maybe one day you can write a book on the Indian market.
Yeah, maybe.
If I have to think about maybe a place I'd like to immigrate to one day, because unfortunately, as a South African, our employment opportunities here can be quite, uh, not as we don't have that many employment opportunities. Our unemployment, especially for young people, our rates of unemployment are really high. So. For most young South Africans, we really do have to think about potentially immigrating one day, which is really sad.
Hmm.
I don't want to leave my country, but we do have to think, I have to have my options open. And I think Singapore is one of those places. Like, I know it's really small, but I really
Yeah,
loved
it's
it when I did go there. And I feel like it's a nice little hub, especially if you want to go traveling to other places. It's in a really good, I think it's situated in a really good area of the world where you can kind of get around a little easier than, say, if you move to Australia, which is definitely where lots of South Africans move to as well. It's a good country in terms of people following the rules. It's safe. It's clean.
yeah.
The economy is quite good. I think. I mean, I don't know now how the pandemic has affected it, but I'm quite sure that
I think,
Singapore's economy is still really strong.
yeah, really strong. Yes, it's really
Mhm.
strong.
Yeah, well, South Africa is a really diverse country as well. We have 11 official languages, which is quite high compared to a lot of other countries. I know India has loads of languages as well.
Yeah, a lot actually. Hindi is one commonly spoken language throughout the
Mhm,
country, right? But still, if you go to any area, for example, I belong to northern part of India, so every state
mhm,
actually have their own language. And then the
Mm-hmm.
state also combined with more than 5, 10 other languages, because the state
Mm-hmm.
also
Wow.
divided into some regions.
I see, yes. And are most of these languages quite similar to each other, or are they very distinct where it's kind of difficult to understand?
In some languages, for example, if I go to the south part of India, I will
Mm-hmm.
hardly understand a word there
Mm-hmm.
if they speak in their native language. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
not understand anything.
Mm-hmm.
And even
That's
I was there for
incredible,
5 years,
yeah.
but I was not able to learn that language.
It's incredible how much diversity you can have just within one country. I think it's amazing to think how this has, I don't know, like how language just evolves and develops.
Yeah,
It's
even
really
even
fascinating.
food, clothes, everything is different.
Mm, wow.
Their culture, their
Mm-hmm.
rituals,
Mm-hmm.
completely different. And we have so
Yeah.
many gods, right, in India. So
Oh, yeah.
you will not actually understand what exactly when you study. So you'll get a centralized history of your country, and but you will see
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of diversity. You will see thousands of gods there, and
Mm-hmm.
some state are praying some other god, and you suddenly go to some other state and you say, okay, which god is this? I don't know what you guys are following. You really don't
Mm-hmm.
understand.
Oh, yeah, I see. That's really interesting. I think, yeah, well, in South Africa, we have, yeah, we have our 11 official languages. Nine of them are, African languages. And I think there's also quite big uh, difference between those languages. Like there's some words, some vocabulary words that might be the same, but I think like the grammar and a lot of the vocabulary words are very different. So there is this, I guess, kind of ignorant belief by people that maybe, yeah, they all kind of understand each other, but I've been told not. It's quite difficult. So yeah, we have. So our nickname is the Rainbow Nation. I think because of that. So we have, yeah, 11 languages. We have lots of different races and cultures here, lots of different religions. Of course, the predominant ones are Christianity, Islam. So I think those are the two. Most people are either Christian, Muslim, um, or kind of then very small percentage are Jewish, very small percentage of Hindu as well, but very minor. Like I've never seen, for example, a Hindu temple or a Buddhist temple. Like those just don't really exist here. So I guess the people who do practice, they would probably have their own little,
Hmm.
shrine or something in their home rather than actually going to a place to.
What other countries have you visited? For example, you visited Singapore, other than your
Mm,
home country. What other countries have
yeah.
you visited?
So, so in that same trip, when I went to Singapore, I went to Thailand and Vietnam. So I was kind of traveling around that area for about 6 weeks. And yeah, I had a really great time, especially Thailand. I would definitely go there again in a heartbeat. It's just such a lovely country, friendly, very affordable for South Africans. And our currency is really weak, so it's nice to have a place that's affordable. And the food is delicious as well. Some of my favorite food in the world. So definitely Thailand's on the list to go back to. And then last year, I actually lived in South Korea. I was there for the year, and I was there to teach English to elementary school students in the countryside. So it was part of a program that was used to bring English to the rural areas of Korea because the students who live in those areas, they often don't have the same opportunities as those who live in the city to interact with a native speaker. So this
Hmm.
program was used to bring native speakers to these students. And yeah,
Yeah,
I had a really
that's
good
really
time
good.
there.
So now you're staying with your parents, or you're staying alone?
Now I've moved closer to my university. So I thought that maybe my university would be in person this year, but no, sadly not. So the whole year is apparently going to be online for the rest of the year. So now I live away from my parents, but I live quite close. It's like maybe a 20-minute drive or 30-minute drive. So I see them maybe once every weekend, once every 2 weekends, something like that. So it's convenient. I don't really see my friends though. I've only seen one friend since I've come back. But also, yeah, I'm trying to be cautious because I know I don't live with my parents, but they are older than 50, and I don't want to perhaps transfer something to them. So I'm quite happy
Hmm.
just staying, living by myself. I have two cats who keep me company, so yeah, it's not so bad. Like I'm not all alone here, just going crazy at least.
Even I love actually cats, but unfortunately I can't have them because I really don't figure out where I'm going to stay, because if I'm here now, maybe I'll just
Mm.
move to some other country, then it's not
Mm-hmm.
permanent, right? So I cannot carry cats with me. But I
Yes, of
really
course.
love them.
Hopefully one day. Yeah, my cats
Yeah,
actually are from Korea. I happened to find Korea and I kind of fell in love with them and I didn't want to give them up to anyone and I ended up just bringing them back here. But yeah, the plane ride, it really kind of traumatized them. So I don't want them to experience that again. So for
yeah,
now, I'm staying put. Maybe in the future, if I do immigrate, then I can think about it. But for now, I don't want them going on a plane again.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe
but
next time
yeah,
I'll ask you about how to immigrate them.